Hello everyone, this is James from 3D Printing Reviews again, and today we're going to be having the first look at the Prometheus system. This was a Kickstarter that I backed, way back when it first, literally within the first couple of hours of it being launched, and I've received my Kickstarter reward. So I thought we'd just have a quick look at the actual Kickstarter campaign itself. Then we'll have a quick look at the website for Distech Automation, which is the company behind the Prometheus system. So what is the Prometheus system? Well, basically it is a solution for multi-color, multi-material 3D printing. And this, so if I just go through the Kickstarter campaigns page, so the system is basically this, what you see here. It's 2 geared stepper motors, 5:1 ratio. The 2 extruders, they're called. You have this, which is a Y-shaped nylon 3D printed Pro feeder, this is called. You then have the Prometheus V2 all metal hot end. So this is the whole. Would be the whole system. This would be the campaign, the reward you backed if you didn't have any of the previous Prometheus equipment. So what can this do, and how is it different from other dual color or dual material systems? Well, first of all, it has only one hot end. It's not a dual hot end system, which, I mean, I've had the dual extruder system on the Printerbot Plus, and there was nothing inherently wrong with the system other than calibrating and having to deal with 2 different hot ends running over each other and different temperatures was just troublesome and quite a difficult system to operate. So I'm hoping that this, with the one hot end, is going to be a lot simpler. So if we just run through the campaign, you can see they've got a couple of examples of how you can use the system. So you've got a dual color globe here. So you can see here we've got also the support material use. So you've got the support material is in a different material than the printed material, so that can help with the removal of the support material. You've then got here where strength has been added to a part by using carbon fiber and then an ColorFab XT material. You've got then 2 different, you've got an exotic material here with the color glow in the dark, and then obviously more dual color prints. So then this just also goes into a little bit more detail about the V2, the extruders, the feeder, etc. So if we just head over to the actual website itself, so if we go to that, back to the home page, you can see where you can already buy the Prometheus V2 all metal hot end. That's been available for a while, and this is basically a very customizable, configurable hot end. So you've got different configurations shown in this picture. It's an all one-piece heat break nozzle material construction. Tom 3D did a review of the Prometheus system, and also the hot end, so go and check out his videos. So yeah, so that's basically the hot end side of it. You can actually pre-order the Prometheus system at the moment. If we just head over to the documents section, and then you've obviously got full instructions on how to put everything together. So I'm going to have a read through all of this. have a look at my kit and see what I've been sent, and then I'll be back and we'll do a little sort of an unboxing, just a video or a clip to show you exactly what you get. So I'm going to read through this and be back with you shortly. Okay, hello, welcome back to the second part of this little video. So I've had a look through the instructions. I've assembled some of the pieces of my system, but I think what we'll do is we'll just go through the list of table of contents and just correspond that to with what I've got. So if we have a look at, so the first part here is the Prometheus V2 hot end. So it basically tells you everything, all the parts that you've been sent, and then there's full instructions on how to put this together. And this setup is basically, as you saw on the previous page, like this is a maximum quality sort of configuration. So it just goes. It's basically this is very similar to another all metal hot end that you may be aware of on how you put everything together. So it's basically just screwing things together, getting certain gaps at the certain measurement, etc., and then putting things together. What I do actually quite like about this is how the heater cartridge is secured to the heater block. I don't like the way that the E3D V6 and V6 Lite is put together. It just seems very odd to purposely put a lot of tension onto a heater block to bend it round a cartridge, whereas the cartridge is quite snug into the hole, and then you just secure it with a little screw there, which I think is really quite a better way of doing it. Has a heatsink fan, obviously, as do other all metal hot ends, and that's the finished construction. And I actually have mine here, which I can show you. So I've put my Prometheus V2 together. So mine's obviously very similar to what the pictures show. So yeah, that's very good. So that's the first part of the kit that you get to assemble, and obviously I've assembled mine. The next part is the Pro Feeder. So this is basically the part that allows two filaments to go down a single path. So if we obviously look here, it shows you putting this together, and inserting the collets and etc., and minimum or the amount of bolt that should be left after you've tightened everything down. Now I haven't inserted the peak guide yet, purely because the way that I'm going to have to construct the hot end into the NFire 1 assembly, it's probably going to be easier to do that after I've done it. So yeah, so this basically shows you how to construct this little thing. So you've got the two filament or Bowden tube inlets, and then that guide tube would go in the bottom there, and then this is just basically a floating sort of contraption that would sit above the hot end. So it works quite well in Bowden Delta setups, because obviously this will just sit above the carriage. So that's the first thing, and then there's my feeder tube. So it's a peak feeder tube. It's got a bevel at one end, which allows for smoother entry into the hole. The next thing we've got is the Pro Extruder. Now this is basically an acrylic. So here's mine, acrylic extruder. Now, obviously mine will look a little bit different because I've had to put this mount on, which I designed or modified in Tinkercad, to allow me to bolt this directly onto the 2020 extrusions. And once I've got obviously this all fitted up, we'll have some closer look into the parts that I've used, etc. And mine is a little bit different in the sense that if you follow through the guide, everything on here, it tells you that you would have, let's find it, this part here, no, sorry, this last part that's added, which is here, is for mounting this assembly onto your printer. Now, obviously, mine's being mounted here, but what it's also meant is that because I'm going to have, as you can see in the background picture, here where the spool holder is, my filament is going to feed in from the bottom. So what I've had to do is actually sort of put this together upside down. And as you can see, so I've got the tension arm here, and this is actually the way it would be mounted. So my filament will come up through the bottom here, and then come out through the top into the Bowden tube, into the Pro feeder. So that's how mine's put together. And obviously you get two of these, so you basically construct one following this guide and then remake the next one, but mirrored, so that when you put them next to each other, they are a mirror copy of each other. So I've gone ahead and done that, obviously. And this basically tells you about tensioning, and then the part that I haven't yet done is to insert some Bowden tubes, purely because I'm not at that stage yet and I don't know lengths, etc. But it's quite clever because it's got these little clips that will go onto the collets that will just lock them in place. So it's like a little washer type thing, and it looks, that's a 3D printed part as well, so that's quite clever. So if you break one, you can probably get the file to print another one. So yeah, so this basically guides you through that. Installing fans onto these as well, because they're geared stepper motors. So yeah, so that is basically the construction and the parts of the Prometheus system. So why don't we actually, in this video also, well, let's have a look over the user guide for the setup and operation of the Prometheus system. So I'll cut the video here and we'll come back and we'll have a look at the Cura or Repetir host setup as well. Okay, so here we are now. We're going to have a quick look at the Prometheus system software side of things. So we've obviously just looked at the hardware. Obviously none of mine is actually connected to the printer yet. I'm just getting this guide out, or this video out, quickly to show you if you've backed Prometheus system on Kickstarter, what you'll be getting. And if you're obviously thinking about a dual color, dual material system for your printer, this is a good system that you can look at. So as obviously this little note here says, this is a working process guide, because basically this is a Kickstarter campaign that's obviously been tested and used by Distech Automation, and Eric over at Distech Automation has used this and has a running setup, but obviously he's now got to get this guide out to the masses, so it's going to be a running guide. So it basically walks you through connecting all of the electronics up, and that's basically plugging your thermistor in, plugging your heat cartridge in, and then plugging your two stepper motors in. If anyone's ever done anything with a ramps board, that's really easy. It's all marked on the board. It's just a matter of plugging things in. Now, for me personally, because of the way that I'm feeding filament in, I've had to obviously change the direction of the stepper in one of mine to get it to go the right way, and the other one, because it's a mirror, yeah, so basically one of mine's running one way, or with plugged in correctly, and one's plugged in the other way, but they both will extrude the correct way once they're all configured. And then it also walks you through Marlin and Repetir firmware setup. So the temperature sensor used is temperature sensor 5, and it also lists it here in case it's different in your different firmware. So set those. can tell your firmware that you've got 2 extruders now. And what you also have to do is, because there's only one temperature sensor, you have to tell it that you allow cold extrudes, basically, or what you're essentially doing is disabling that feature. Now what you also have to do is tell the firmware that the temperature, or heater 1, which will be, say, extruder 2, or the hot end for what would be extruder 2, that there is no minimum temperature, because there's got to be no thermistor plugged in. That will be 0 all the time. So that's an important part to basically comment out that in your firmware. So it's then basically a matter of making these changes in your firmware. So you've got then your steps per millimeter, your jerk settings, etc. So basically just input what you see on the screen here to correspond with your firmware. And then basically you're then at the stage where you would then have everything connected up, and you do an PID auto tune to get the temperatures correct. And then it moves on to slicer software. Now at the moment this is just going to be for Prometheus /Cura, or the Cura profile within it, and that's because Simplify 3D has currently got, there's a couple of little niggles that need to be worked out to make the system work correctly, but that I'm assured that is in the pipeline. It was something that a lot of backers asked about when the campaign was running, so hopefully that is something that will come eventually. But it basically just shows you here how to set up your 2 extruders in Prometheus, and then you've got these special scripts that get run as G-code commands, and that's for the purge and insertion of the different filaments. Because they're going to go into a Y, one has to come out before the next one can come in, and that's what these commands do. It also talks you through quality settings, so layer heights, wall perimeter thickness, etc., retraction speed and distance, and then you've got your before extruder switch G-code and after G-code as well, and that's basically the setup for that. And then it also quickly talks you through how to set up your first sort of test print as such, and then how to make any adjustments that you'd need to here. You can change the size of the priming tower. So if you're printing a particularly large object, you may want to, well, I'm not sure how that would relate, but you can change the size of the purge. It's all to do with the color. If you're using 2 very similar or high contrast colors, you wouldn't want a piece of black filament being used while that should be white. So if that's the case, you'd perhaps want a larger purge tower or priming tower. It also then talks you through the first steps for doing a dual color print, but what they've remarked about here is that it's probably recommended to get the system set up with single color printing, just one extruder through the one hot end to start with. Just make sure the system's working all right. You've got your filament settings correct, so that's like your extrusion width, first layer height, etc. So it's recommended to do one color printing first, but it also then gives you the guide to start a dual color print. It then talks about sort of part cooling, temperature settings, etc. So, and how to clean the drive gear, etc. So, and then there's a small section about troubleshooting. So that's sort of the whole guide and the whole introduction to the Prometheus system, what I wanted to get out as soon as possible. So what I'm going to be doing, obviously, is getting everything fitted to the NFire 1, getting all the firmware settings, getting everything set up, and then hopefully in the next video, which will maybe be next weekend now, we'll have a look at actually doing our first dual color print. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting. Have a look over on the Kickstarter page, the Distech Automation website as well, in case you want to think about ordering something. So yeah, until next time, thanks for watching, and keep on printing.